All right, let's talk about one of the most uniquely frustrating things that can happen: losing your voice. You know that feeling, that dreaded croak when you try to speak? Well, if that's you right now, or you just want to be prepared, you're in the right place. We are going to walk through a super clear, actionable guide to get you back to talking as fast as possible. It is the absolute worst, isn't it? You wake up, you go to say good morning, and nothing. Just a puff of air. Maybe it's from a cold, maybe you were cheering a little too loud at a game last night. But don't worry, that raspy, strange feeling, it doesn't have to stick around for long. We've got the solutions. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into what laryngitis actually is. Then, we'll build your recovery plan with steps you can start right away. After that, we'll cover the big mistakes that can actually make things worse. And finally, we'll talk about when it's time to call in a professional.
Okay, first things first. What is actually going on in your throat when you lose your voice? Understanding the problem is always the first step to really fixing it.
So, the official medical name for this is laryngitis, and really all that means is that your larynx, your voice box, is irritated and inflamed. And inside that little voice box, you've got your vocal cords. They are the stars of this whole show. So, here's what's really going on. Think of your vocal cords like two little bands that vibrate super fast when air passes through them. That vibration is what makes sound. But when you have laryngitis, they get all swollen and angry. And because they're swollen, they just can't vibrate properly. That's what gives you that hoarse, scratchy, or sometimes just totally absent voice. So, what's causing all this drama? Well, most of the time, it's a simple virus, like the common cold. But it can also be from overusing your voice, like singing your heart out at a concert. Other culprits can be things like smoke, or even something you might not think of, like acid reflux.
Okay, now that we know what's wrong, let's get to the good stuff, how to fix it. This is your game plan, real, practical steps you can take right now to soothe that throat and get your voice back.
All right, if you only take one single thing away today, let it be this. You have got to rest your voice. I mean it. It's the most important part of healing, bar none. Your vocal cords are hurt, and just like a sprained ankle, they need a break to recover. That means trying not to talk at all if you can manage it. Now, besides just staying quiet, here are 4 simple but honestly super powerful things you can do at home. We're going to soothe things with warm liquids, get some moisture in there with steam, calm the swelling with a saltwater gargle, and keep your throat coated with the right lozenges. Let's break that down. Think herbal tea with a spoonful of honey or just some warm broth. Taking a nice, long, hot shower is perfect for that steam. And for the gargle, the magic recipe is about 1 teaspoon of salt in a warm glass of water a couple of times a day. Oh, and a pro tip for lozenges. Try to find ones with honey because it has natural anti-inflammatory powers. Okay, so we know what to do, but what's just as important? Knowing what not to do. Let's look at a few really common things people do that can actually make things way worse. Okay, get ready for this, because this one is a game changer. I think everyone's first instinct is to whisper, right? Makes sense. Well, it turns out that's one of the worst things you can do. Whispering actually makes your vocal cords pull really tight, and that puts even more strain on them. So, if you absolutely have to talk, use what some people call a confidential voice. Just your normal voice, but really, really soft and quiet. And here are a few more things to put on that no-fly list for a little bit. The first one's a no-brainer, absolutely no shouting or singing. But you'll also want to avoid irritants like smoke, and that includes secondhand smoke. Alcohol is also out because it just dries your throat out. Same goes for stuff like coffee and caffeinated sodas, which can dehydrate you right when you need to be hydrating. So you're resting your voice, you're sipping your tea, but what if it's just not getting any better? This last part is all about knowing when to stop the home remedies and actually go see a doctor. First, let's just set a baseline for what's normal. For most people, a simple case of laryngitis will usually get better on its own in about 3 to 7 days, so keep that timeline in your head. But the magic number you really, really need to remember is 2 weeks. If your voice hasn't come back, or at least started getting a lot better after 2 full weeks, that's your sign. It's time to make an appointment because it could be a signal of something more serious going on. And besides that 2-week rule, there are a few other red flags. If you're in severe pain, if you're actually having trouble swallowing, or if you have that weird feeling like there's a lump in your throat, don't wait. Those are all signs you should get checked out right away. All right, let's wrap this up with a quick recap. Your 4-point voice recovery plan. Number 1, rest. Give your voice a real break, and please don't whisper. 2. Hydrate. Sip warm, soothing drinks all day. 3. Humidify. Get some moisture in the air. And 4. Avoid. Stay away from irritants like smoke and alcohol that are just going to slow things down. And there you have it, a clear, simple plan that actually works. So the next time you feel that croak in your throat, you'll know exactly what to do and what not to do. Getting your voice back is all about giving it the right kind of care. So, are you ready to reclaim yours?